Hi everyone, welcome to In Nature Spiritual. My name is Karinna and we are going to have a little chat and talk about this new year energy, what it holds, what it brings, how are you doing so far? And I feel like January and the new year has so much pressure behind it that you have to make a list of all these goals and kind of 180 your life completely around. And it's almost panicking and it's very stressful, and it's not a great way to start the year with these lists of resolutions and goals. And now I'm not saying don't have goals or don't reflect on the past, but I feel like sometimes there's a lot of pressure to have these lofty lifestyle changes and growth, and like you gotta do this and do that and do this and do that, and it's like the list gets tiresome. And so now this video is going to be coming out mid January. How are you doing with your goals? Did you set too many? Did you set, the standard so high? I feel like sometimes with our goals, we get so excited about setting them and we start off with all this energy and like, yeah, I can just run with this and I can just go with this. But it's not sustainable. It's like if you've never really worked out consistently, New Year's comes around and you're like, I'm going to work out 3-4 times a week, doing 1 hour weight training or something that's, equally intense. That's quite a jump from Christmas time and the holidays and not really working out to beating yourself up to be like, okay, I have to get in shape and I have to do this many times a day. Whereas maybe the goal can be something that is long term. What if you started out the new year like, okay, I want to get in shape. I would like to lose 50 pounds or something like that, or I just want to feel stronger, or I just want to feel better in my body. What does that look like? And can you set easier, more attainable goals? Like, what if you did 30-minute workouts 2 times a week, 3 times a week, and then you slowly increase it, adding weights, adding more reps, all these things, instead of just jumping in and expecting your habits to shift like this overnight. And they say it takes 21 days to change a habit, to form a habit. And our brain likes patterns and wants to be like, okay, well, we've never really done that before, so let's go back to like how we used to be. And so that's why these big, lofty, unattainable, seemingly unattainable goals are tricky. Now, I think lofty goals are great, but they need to be broken down into bite-sized pieces that are like easy to make that adjustment, and make that adjustment long term instead of just go, go, go. And technically it's still winter, and it's still winter until the end of March. Or if you are in the southern hemisphere, it is summer. It is peak productive time. But here in the northern hemisphere, it is slow and recuperating and revising, and like, how do I want to structure things? How do I want to move things forward? There's not so much of a push energetically to get things done or shake things up or anything like that, like in the northern hemisphere. Like, it's still winter. And I think that's something we always forget, because it's like, oh, New Year's a new year. You gotta just jump and go and create and do. And no wonder so many people don't follow through with their goals. They fall off, quite easily in a month, because it's too much pressure. Also, we think like as soon as the new year starts, like all of that energy from the last year is just like we leave it behind. And yes, we do, but lingering habits, things that we are integrating, processing, going through, are still coming with us into this new year. regardless of how much work we've done. Like, it's not like a light switch, like night and day. This year's over, this year starts. Like, there's there's a slower integrative process, and I think that's so important to remember. Instead of, I just feel like we punish ourselves so much in January that we could have done better, or we could have been better about our goals or whatever. And then we feel disappointed, like, well, I might as well not even try because I failed. And that's just not a great mindset to be in. So I feel like we always put this pressure on ourselves to do, be, create, and like have it all together in January. And that's a big pressure. I challenge you to make a vision board this year, but I want you to do it differently. I want you to say you want to get into running. I want you to put on your vision board those mornings where you don't feel like getting out of bed to run. Perhaps it is raining and you don't feel like running, or perhaps you are sore and you need to rest your muscles to attain that goal of running or whatnot. Like, put that on your vision board, not crossing the finish line. Yes, put that as well, but put those little steps that it takes to get the goals, not just the lofty outcome of attaining money or a relationship or a new job or followers or a goal. Like, how can you add the steps that take to get there? How can you make space for these things in your life? If you're attracting love, how do you make space energetically for that in your schedule? Do you feel like you are open to that? Are you emotionally available? Are you getting out of the house? Are you setting up your space where it is has a spot for someone else's things? You know, in the bathroom, are there two towels? In the bedroom, can both sides of the bed be accessed? That's important as well. If you're looking to increase finances, what does that look like? Do you need to change your spending habit? Do you need to study finances? Do you need to be putting money into a savings account? Do you need to be automating stuff? Do you need to pay off debt? Like, what does that look like? And put these on that vision board, because those are the steps that you're going to have to take. You're going to have to be like calling your bank, calling your credit card, if that's what you want to be doing. Studying stocks, studying finance, like whatever it is, put those little steps on your vision board. And then you're going to be able to see how attainable the goal is, instead of just seeing the yacht or the really nice house or the best relationship ever or, you know, a stack of money. Those are lovely, but they take steps to get there. They're so much in the future that we disappoint ourselves because it's not attainable to the now. We can't touch it now. We can't grab it now. And so we just give up, or like think it's too far away, instead of making little tiny baby steps. I really think that this year is the year of focusing on ourselves and not comparing ourselves to others, and really increasing that self-worth, that self-love, setting boundaries, really asking for what we deserve and going after what we deserve, not just sitting around and wishing like, oh, that would be nice, but actually taking the steps to make that nice and make it happen, and allowing space for boredom and peace and slowing down and low dopamine activities that allow us to just have a more peaceful approach, a more ease to life. And I think it's important not just to set goals for the year, but what fears are you holding on to still, bringing into this new year? What can you release? What needs to be let go of? What needs to be worked through? What needs to be harnessed? All those kind of things. And just listening to your heart more and opening it up and allowing that space to guide you. And this is such a special year to really just, like, no bullcrap year. Like, let's make this happen, and not in a way that is unattainable or stressful, but in a really peaceful, loving way. How can we make this happen for all of us in this lifetime? Okay, my friends, we have something special here. I wanted to pull a couple cards, but I want you to sit with these cards and see how you feel about them. Don't let me do all the work and carry this energy for you. Sit with this as well. Pause if you need to and really see what messages are coming through for you in this year. Start to tap into that intuition. Start harnessing your own gifts, your own creativity, your own guidance. I think that's important. So, the year ahead, what cards do we have for my beautiful collective here for the year ahead? Ooh, the first one we have is the Golden Children, inner child tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. How does this feel to you? What does this bring up? Noticing the yellow, energetic effervescence in this card. What does it feel like to you? Does it feel warm? Does it feel cold? Does it feel safe? Does it feel scary? What energy are you kind of being called to? What part of this card are you energetically drawn to? Is it the engravings in the arch? Is it the archway itself? Is it the children scattered along the pathway to get there? Is it the great big Mars, it looks like, energy, this vitality, this life force? Like what is really being drawn to you? Is it the rainbow essence kind of strewn about? Is it the snowy landscape? Really sit with this. What are you being drawn to notice in this card energetically that really calls to you? I mean, we have the words inner child tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. That's a softer side. It's a softer approach here. Let's see, is there anything else? We have all paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. Interesting that we have a kind of meditation circle, if you will. A bunch of stones that kind of lead to the center of these three larger stones stacked, almost like a Stonehenge kind of shape. And this woman kind of dances more elegantly along with her cloth almost. It's a little bit of a dance. And it seems like there's a pathway in both of these. There's definitely like an aim, where do you want to be led? Where feels like home? What do you feel called to really tap into? What are you being called to look at in this card? And let's get one last card. We have perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. I think perspective is so important, especially as we're talking about these lofty goals. It can seem so far away. It can seem so unattainable, but yet it's really within our grasp to make these things happen. And nothing ever happens overnight. These need to be slow action, baby steps. Where is the path trying to lead you? Where do you need to take a step back and see how far you've come and see where you want to go? And this requires perspective. It requires getting quiet, slowing down, like taking it easy. These are all really important aspects of stepping forward, stepping into our power for this year. How do you want to feel this year? What do you want to look back next year and be like, I am so grateful that I stayed in the presence and the feeling of joy and peace. and I let things roll off my back and I let trust happen. How do you want to feel going into this year? Instead of these needs and musts, yes, of course, make them happen. But how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? I think this year has some really beautiful energies, and I think it's time for us to step up into our power, and it's time for us to take a hold of our lives and really make things happen and stop making ourselves so small. So until next time, take care of yourself. Bye. So my offerings are changing up a little bit. They are not just going to be tarot readings. They will still incorporate tarot readings, but it's also going to be energetic work. My purpose with my offerings is to help guide you gently into this higher version of yourself, to open the doorway and let you see that it's not so scary to go in, and for me to help you and hold your hand, and we can dig this stuff up and transform it and be able to get unstuck and be able to evolve into our higher selves and be this more authentic version of ourselves, and help yourself to help the world. Like, it's so beautiful how many gifts we all hold within ourselves. And so my offerings are changing up a little bit. If you are curious, you can go to my Etsy shop and check them out. Hi everyone, welcome to In Nature Spiritual. My name is Karinna, and I am here to help guide you and take your hands and let us uncover the truth. Let us open the doorway and see what needs to be looked at. Let us authentically bring this newer version of yourself to the surface here by questioning everything and digging into the deeper aspects of ourselves and really finding that magic in that raw honesty that we all kind of need, but doing it from a loving, gentle, compassionate place. So that's what I do over here on my channel. And if you feel called, subscribe, comment, join this beautiful, ever-growing channel so we can all heal ourselves to help the world. Until next time, take care of yourself. Bye.